Could we really see a Cleveland Browns legend play in something other than orange and brown this season? Some are saying that's what the tea leaves are telling us. Welcome back into At the Office. My name is Noah. Please, if you haven't, leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe. And if you're feeling froggy, leave us a voicemail 216 260 3433. We will play your voicemail live on the show and react to your take here on At the Office. There is a lot of news still going around with the NFL free agency period being well underway. Our Cleveland Browns kind of had a quiet day, just retooled the back end of their roster. We had a couple smaller moves. Let me jump into those real quick. Then we'll talk about Joel Bitonio. Of course, Corey Bojorquez, our punter, I just butchered his name. I'm sorry, Corey, has re signed with the Cleveland Browns. He was actually kind of the one to break this news first. He posted on his story, let's run it back with Rex, our long snapper, and a picture of our kicker as well. Then we had a cornerback who plays on special teams as well, Trey Avery, re-signed with the Cleveland Browns. He was with the Titans from 22 to 24, played in 10 games for us last season. It was majority again on that special team side, so a nice little special teamer addition for the Cleveland Browns. I got to kick it across the league real quick. We had some news about a former Brown and one Jedrick Wills. I didn't get to mention him in yesterday's video about Ty Simpson. Go check out that video if you haven't already, because that is an interesting one considering he had some choice words to say on Up and Adams the day that that video came out. Anyways, Jedrick Wills, 1 year deal with the Chicago Bears. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with one Jed Wills over in Chicago because I thought his career was trash, done, over with, never going to see the light of day again after he sat out the 2025 season with his leg injury. I thought for sure his heart was just not in football anymore, but it turns out he's given it another go and another go with the team that seems poised to make a deep run in the playoffs for the NFL in 2026 after their fun, electric season with Caleb Williams in 2025. But that is the news. Oh, wait, no, it's not. I forgot one little bit of news that broke, and that is Kyler Murray signed with the Minnesota Vikings, which was obviously the odds on favorite of what was going to happen with Kyler. He didn't take a visit or a phone call, as far as we know, with any other teams. He was a name of interest to some Cleveland Browns fans. We talked about him here on the page. He goes to Minnesota. He goes and signs for 1 year with a no tag clause, meaning he will be a free agent in 2027. So he is betting to rehabilitate his career in Minnesota, which I think is a safe bet when you look at Sam Darnold, for example, and what he did in 2024 with the Minnesota Vikings. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of today because the big news for the Cleveland Browns wasn't any of the signings, really, in my opinion. It was what happened with our post June 1st designations, our contract structures, the dead cap, and everything going on with some of the old names, some of the fan favorite names that will be leaving the Cleveland Browns for the 2026 season. Joel Bitonio sounds like he might be one of them. So Joel had his clause in his contract, his decision basically. He needed to make his decision of what he was going to do in terms of retiring or coming back to the Browns by March 10th. We heard nothing. March 11th came around. The league year started. We heard nothing. March 12th comes around, and we finally hear that the Browns have voided his contract. He is officially a 2026 free agent and can sign anywhere he wants if he so pleases. And many are curious because that wasn't how most saw this going down. So Tony Grossi is the one that came out with this, and it's so funny to me that I'm using Tony Grossi as a source in one of our videos because we've definitely made fun of ESPN Cleveland quite a few times here on the page. Joe Bitonio can make up his mind on his timetable, but my understanding is the 4 dummy years on his contract have voided, and the Browns will be docked a dead cap charge of 23.5 million. If he had announced his retirement by 4 p.m., they could have basically post-Juned him and divvied up that 23 million over 2 years, making it a little less of a dead cap charge. So that's interesting. Many were like, oh, so Joel is being indecisive and it kind of screwed us, which I think is a fair thought process to have because that's what many were saying. You even had a guy like Jack Duffin, who is a cap expert, come out and say, that's a shock if he's retiring. Usually teams would extend on the league minimum and then formally retire the guy on June 2nd. So that way they can, maneuver the cap in so many different ways to have less of a cap hit. He also stated that all signs point to Joel playing elsewhere in 2026. So that's the question today. Is Joel going to retire? Is Joel going to play for a new team? Or is Joel just taking his time to still try to decide and he doesn't know yet? So we had to go this route. There's some additional information from my own digging that I wanted to bring to the table before I share my true opinion on what's going on with Joel Bitonio. Is he retiring? Is he going to go somewhere else? Or is he going to be a Brown in 2026? And that is the fact that the Cleveland Browns and every team in the NFL only get two post June 1st cuts to use. So they can only post June 1st cut two players to basically spread out that cap hit. Kind of like what Jack Duffin was talking about with the formerly retiring on June 2nd. It helps with the cap structure and the dead cap money that hits due to dead money on a contract, right? So we released today David Njoku, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin. Three names, three decently big names for this organization, fans' favorites. I would say I actually had a Njoku and a Teller jersey. Njoku and Teller are the ones that have not gotten a for sure pre or post June 1st cut, whereas Jack Conklin has. Jack Conklin is a post pre June 1st cut. So yeah, that's 12 million on our dead cap. That was always going to happen. What I think is really going on here is David Njoku and Wyatt Teller are just going to be our two post June 1st cuts. And that's just due to the money and the void years and everything that they have going on. Now, the question is how much money would they save, post June 1st cutting Joel Bitonio versus those two? That money is kind of unclear until the actual news breaks. But to me, it seems like David Njoku and Wyatt Teller will be the two that they actually post June 1st cut, meaning they already used their two anyway. So it doesn't truly matter if Joel decided to retire or not because they already used their first two June 1st cuts anyway. I hope that made at least some sense. Basically, you can only do this with two players. They have chosen David Njoku and Wyatt Teller to be the two players that they do this cut cap maneuver for. I'm assuming because their cap hits are higher or about equal to Joel. That way, Joel gets more time to decide what he wants to do with his NFL career. Now, with that information out of the way, what's going to happen with Joel Bitonio, in my opinion, is very, very simple. I think he's going to retire. I think he's done. I think he is going to hang it up, and that is that. I do, though, think that there's some credence if he does come back that he actually goes and plays somewhere else next year. With all of our signings that we've had, Zion Johnson, Elgton Jenkins, bringing back Tevin Jenkins, of course, the trade. We still have Big Thanos DeJuan Jones. We still have Luke Whippler. We still have Zach Zinter. And I laugh because it seems like they've completely given up on the kid already. So there's a lot of O-line depth already on this roster, and four guys that you're paying to basically be starters. We don't know Tevin Jenkins' contract yet, but he did start games for us last year. I think they kind of got from Joel, it's either go somewhere else or retire. I think he's going to retire. I just think that's where he's at. I think he would probably. I think it cements his legacy as an all-time Brown. He's an all-time Brown no matter what, but I think he likes the idea of playing for one team. If he went somewhere else, then you ask, where might he go? Atlanta, because he was a very big diehard Kevin Stefanski guy. He defended him in the media when Kevin Stefanski was going through the ringer in the 2025 season, or another championship team that could use a guard, a all pro, a potential Hall of Fame. I don't know if Joel will actually make the Hall of Fame, but a potential Hall of Fame, Browns Hall of Fame for sure, guard to maybe let him go ring chase one last year and see what it's like to really go out there and win, not win and win one playoff game, but win and maybe get the whole damn ring. If Joel retires, if Joel goes elsewhere, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Joel, for all the great dives here at Cleveland. It has been awesome to watch you as an O-line fanatic take care of business at that left guard spot for years upon years upon years. And it's a little bittersweet, too, because he's like the last lasting memory of the Joe Thomas Cleveland Browns offensive line. He's like the last guy to have played with them. We will be moved forward into a new direction of all new names, all new faces, maybe new better players, depending on who we ended up going out there and drafting. Who knows? Time will tell on that one. The draft is right around the corner. April is coming up. It is starting to get hot outside, and I, for one, can't wait for that. Anyway, Joel, it's been real if you decide to retire or go elsewhere. If I was putting my money on it, I think Joel Bitonio is going to hang it up still. He just hasn't decided that yet. And the Browns are giving him as much time, as much respect as possible. And everyone remember, too, Andrew Barry and Coach Todd Monken have both said that they would willingly take Joel Bitonio back. So I don't think, regardless of these signings, if Joel decided to come back and be a Cleveland Brown, that there wouldn't be a spot for him or something like that. He would 100% be our starting left guard going into the 2026 season. And I don't think, I think I speak for all Browns fans, all Cleveland sports fans when I say 100% Joel could come back any day of the week, and we would open him with welcoming arms and whatnot, just like we would with Joe Thomas, even though he has been retired for quite some time now. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think Joel Bitonio is going to hang it up? Do you think he's going to play for a different team next season, or do you think he will be a Cleveland Brown for one more year? I want to know your opinion down below, or even your opinion in our voicemail box. That's 216-260-3433. And also, let me know, where do you rank Joel Bitonio in terms of the best offensive lineman in Cleveland Browns history? Me and Eric had this debate on the show a little while back, and we also had it off air. We've talked about it at length. So if I have any old head Browns fans watching this video, let me know, where do you put him? Is he in your top 5, top 10 Browns offensive lineman all time? Me as a young blood, of course, I think he is top 5 for sure. It's Joel and of course Joe hanging up and holding down the left side of the line for me. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. It is St. Patty's Day weekend, so if you're going out and about, please be safe. Remember, Uber is a thing. Remember, you are always safer to take the ride than to drive. My name is Noah. I will talk to you next week, hopefully with my colleague Eric. Until next time, everyone, be easy, stay blessed, and peace.